right, everyone, welcome back to our grand final here between Scaling and the Dinzbags. As we're gonna get into game two here. Scaling took game one with a draft that, again, I'm probably overstating this, that I didn't completely like, but specifically for how they wanted to play the game, it worked out really, really well. Specifically for how they wanted to counter what Dinzbags wanted to do, it worked very, very well. So we're gonna see if they go for that again, or if Dinzbags make the correct adjustments to be able to fight that.
Yeah, and I'm still wondering about this Darius because it was left open, and if Scaling leaves it open again, and with the way that game turned out, I think there's the absolute potential here for Dinzbag to head back up into the top lane and see what he can do. But there is the ban. They don't want to let that through on blue side, and could be the Bard coming in again. I would definitely consider a Bard ban if I'm Scaling here. But already Lucian coming out. There's Seafarence's Rise band, super strong on that champion. Also something like a Silas could be available here for Dinzbags, but there's the Shen taken away this time.
Oh, the Twisted Fate still up now for Scaling, so they can potentially pick that. They get the Lilia right now picked up for Dinzbags. And yeah, game one, it really felt like they knew he was going to play Samira that game. Mostly because Dinzbags kept saying he was going to play Samira.
Yep, that's true. I think it even showed up in the diss track.
Yeah, exactly. So they leave up the Darius game one saying, hey, are you really going to pick the Samira? You can have your Darius, but they don't. And now they go, okay, he got his Samira game out of the way. Let's pick this up and get rid of that Darius because they don't want to test that twice probably.
Yeah, here's the bot lane coming in. Nautilus and Kai'Sa picked up for Scaling, and so that is going to be pretty hyphy if Leggy does manage to pop off on that. But there we go. We saw the Nasus ban last time, and the Coop really likes to play these late game hyper carry beefy boys. Tryndamere beefy in a bit of a different way there, but Nasus, the epitome of beefy, and so. The Scoop Lord looking to scale up and get some lane kingdom going on.
Yeah, Scoop likes to play that just split push. I'll win the game by myself if they ignore me kind of champions, and then still has lots of relevancy. Join a fight if they have to. Excuse me. So that's gonna be there, and there you go. I mentioned the Twisted Fate being up, and it is now picked by Scaling.
Yeah, and something to note, Cassiopeia was taken away there this time. It actually was banned by Scaling, and so they were not interested in seeing that out of Seafarence or Dinzbag there. But so far, no bot lane picks coming in from the Dinzbags. We're gonna have to see what their response is. And interesting that they took the blind Nasus instead of looking for some sort of top counter pick. Or solo lane counterpicked instead. They took their solo lanes blind, and Orianna in particular, quite a safe pick and totally fine into the TF. But you got to be scared of Puke Lord on that TF. Once again, the globals, you saw how effective they were last game, and they got arguably the best global from mid lane. Here now on Scaling. So bans coming out. Quinn's Kane taken away. He's been showing some really, really impressive stuff there. Bard and Morgana taken away from Scaling. For Scaling.
Yeah, those are all very, very interesting and good bans. Exactly, you kind of saw a lot of picks that were really popping off in the semifinals with these players. So that's being taken away, so that they have to potentially play something else there. Sejuani's still up Scaling, of course. Quinn rather played that for Scaling last game, so that's potentially still there. So I imagine the jungle pack will come up here, so they still have the one more solo lane counter pick at least in the top lane there. But we'll see what they kind of choose there. Sometimes. Again, this is a bit of the top lane you're on an island kind of team. And then we go, we see the Ord. So that's why I'm saying most teams do this. However, Scaling might just leave Coop on an island, and that's happening there. So
there's no more champion comfortable on an island than Ornn, who can build his own items in lane. So that is definitely going to be a good answer there to the Nasus. But of course, Nasus is fine into tanks because they don't have as much kill pressure. Of course, Ornn, not so much a tank as a tank support, assassin, mage, wizard, warlock, jungler. But there is the Samira pick with the Braum coming in, the bot lane response. Dinzbag wants to try his luck once again.
Yeah, he ain't done yet. He's wanting to show and prove that he's put a lot of work in this champion and is ready to go. And the next default for him would have been potentially the Ezreal, but it's decided to go with that champion still. And we're seeing Olaf now picked up by Scaling, so we'll see Olaf in the jungle there. And I like these picks. I like kind of what these two teams are trying to do. They're both trying to play to their strengths, but we're gonna see whose strength is better.
I have to say I don't like the Samira pick. I like it almost less this game. It just you can be denied so hard by the Nautilus and Orn
Hmm.
and even a gold card that it's just going to be so hard to pop off. Once again, the Dinzbags, I feel like they're kind of relying on Scoop Lord to just sort of they can last until late game. They've got the Oriana now, so they're going to be able to do that a little bit better in sort of the mid bot side.
Hmm.
And Lilia, of course, kind of a lot of jungle kingdom available there. But Olaf is the play into Lilia in terms of early game pressure. Before Lilia is able to get her cooldowns down a bit and get that speed boost, Olaf can really bully her in the jungle, and Quinn is equipped to do that in skill more than almost any other jungler in the league. So
Hmm.
that is going to be Dustin Campbell having to watch out for that jungle invade. I think scaling once again has taken the draft here.
Yeah, I like these in a lot of ways, but let's see what the analyst desk has to say about this one. We'll tune over towards them, and we'll be back for when the game starts. So, see you in a bit.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the analyst desk, and definitely a spicier draft all around. But we do have, and we were ragging on this behind the scenes a little bit, the Samira pick again from the Dinzbags. It should be noted that, in my personal opinion, I do believe that it is a little bit better this game because you can just block off so much of the CC with your W, and especially the Ornalt. You know, you have the Ornalt, the TF card, and a lot of things from Nautilus. Not the ult. That being said, it looks like a pretty similar strategy from the side of Dinzbags, to get their top laner a little bit, scaling a little bit ahead, and just have the rest of the team almost support him in a way. But I'm curious to know your opinion on this draft, Kang.
Uh, yeah, a little bit of tweaks here and there. You got the Lilia now instead of the Hecarim. Despite a lot of jokes, them being the same champion, they do play quite differently.
Mm.
In and around fights, I think the Oriana pickup is pretty good. Seafarens definitely has an affinity towards those control mages, and it's going to fit right up with how they want to play. Adds a little bit more utility with the shields and speed ups. Um, and I just think that Braum is a better lane partner
Mm.
than Bard, simply because Braum can block a lot of those projectiles as well as just follow up with Samira. If Samira goes in, Braum can follow up pretty easily just with the stand behind me, adding a bit of resistances to Samira as well, making her slightly more tanky, blocking a bunch of projectiles going her way, and can pretty much combo quite well with concussive blows or the glacial fissure there. So I think in what's it called? Just just lane by lane, I think their draft is slightly better than last game, but I think when we're talking about overall team comps and overall team play, I think that scaling are definitely going to have the advantage early, and if Dinzbags fall behind like they did last game, I definitely see scaling taking the game in a similar fashion to game one.
Mm. And the final thing I want to touch on, Johnny and Wes touched on it a little bit, is the jungle matchup this game between the Lilia and Olaf. I think that more than any other lane, or more than any other position, I should say, that the jungle matchup is going to really determine this game. Olaf absolutely has the capacity to bully Dustin Campbell and just get him so far behind that the Lilia is useless. That being said, if Dustin Campbell can kind of hold off a lot of Quinn's early advances, then this Lilia is going to be a rather large problem for the side of scaling.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty curious as to. I mean, I guess they did pick the Lilia first, but we've seen Dustin Campbell on the Nunu, and I really like the way that guy plays Nunu.
Mm.
So, I don't know. Maybe they know something that I don't, but I feel like Dustin's Nunu is first pick worthy, in my opinion. But Lilia, definitely a strong champ. Gonna love getting those 5-man sleeps, hopefully.
Mm. All right. So I want to ask you now, a little bit of a final thought. Who do you think is going for this game? You know, Dinzbag, that had the first game jitters come out now that we often see from them, but this game they look like they've drafted a little bit of a healthier comp for Samira. They have a good scaling in the top lane through Susan. Though on the side of scaling, they've got a much more standard team comp, but they do have that TF that can affect the map so well. What are your predictions for this game?
Either scaling snowballs an early lead and stomps them yet again, or Dinzbags don't run it down and make this game pretty competitive. Because I think that um, as long as they can keep the Samira safe with the Unbreakable and um, just having more bodies up in front, the Oriana shield and movement speed boost could definitely help her get out of sticky situations as well. And also, Oriana can combo quite nicely with Samira just going ham. So I think if they're able to get their dream 5v5 team fight engage, or even 4v4 if they're opting in for the Nasus Kane split push, but I don't know. I guess I just see scaling getting early leads again
All
and
right.
snowballing.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, as I'm going to throw it back to the dynamic duo of Wes and Johnny as we're getting into game number 2 in the MEL finals.
All right, I've got to unmute my mic. That's something that I need to do, and we
Yes,
are
me
in
too.
with game 2. Did we both do that?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, the most experienced caster duo in all of Manitoba. Here we go.
Yeah, we're a dream team.
Yeah, exactly. We got that synergy. Both, if one of us is muted, Johnny, we're both muted.
Yeah, I just stayed muted in solidarity.
I got to shout out Johnny's outfit. He is dressed to impress because we've been together for a while, Johnny, and it's a special occasion. We got to bring it. And here is speaking of bringing it, looks like Dinzbags are bringing it with an invade here, scaling.
Hits the hook. Scoop Lord gets taken down. 100 Thieves gets flashed. That's not a start you want for Dinzbags. We were kind of alluding to it that basically I really feel like if Dinzbags don't run it down, they can win this game. But that's definitely not the start you wanted.
That isn't the way they've started. It did go over to Quinn, and Olaf might be one of the players you'd pick to finish off the kill as opposed to something like the TF or the Kai'Sa, but I just don't know. I don't think that Olaf is going to let up here in this early game if he's able to. And there you go. You can see he picked up a longsword as well. So that early game damage, I already talked about how powerful Olaf can be into the Lilia early game. And this is just going to activate that even sooner.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, your clear is just that much faster, right? So you're just able to kind of do things around the map very, very easily. So, yeah, that's the start Quinn wants. Certainly the start Dinzbags wants. But okay, you know what? First bloods don't mean anything. Just ignore it. Pretend it didn't happen. Because if you're Dinzbags, you really have an avenue to win this game in the late game. Hashtag scaling. You know what I mean? So you got Scoop Lord, who's going to sit in the top lane. He's going to be able to split push like a nightmare. Lilia just does ridiculous amounts of damage while being insanely mobile and hard to hit. And we've seen how bad Oriana ults could blow up everything. And then you just follow that up with Dinzbags, who hopefully doesn't start this game 0-6 or whatever the score was originally. You should be fine. Like I have faith right now in the Dinzbags to be able to do something in this game. But if scaling plays as good as they can play, if Puke Lord does do the roams that just really helps out this bot lane, like Kai'Sa snowballs probably just as well as the Cassiopeia could potentially did last game. So
yes,
this Kai'Sa has the potential to do the same thing. So it's terrifying right now. So Dinzbags really need this game, and they can win it. They just have to focus. They have the ability.
Yeah, and I think Kang mentioned something important on the analyst desk there, which was the Braum on Luminex. Definitely sort of better synergy with the Samira in a lot of cases, able to protect her a little bit better early game, able to activate her passive, which, you know, a lot of people, now that Samira has getting closer to being solved, is really the passive is what is unlocking her in lane and what is making her so ridiculous. That's why she's so good with things along the lines of a Leona, Nautilus, even, you know, Pantheon, with that point and click CC. Braum doesn't exactly have that, but if you can get that passive stacked up on Braum or that Glacial Fissure out, that is what can activate Samira in lane. Puke Lord pulls a blue card.
Awkwardly with the blue card, Theron's trading some of that damage back, but it actually ends up being a pretty decent trade for Puke Lord in the end. You know, could have been quite a bit more potentially, but Theron's right now really wants to get his advantage in this mid lane. Again, we talked about last game how it's attacked globals. They only have the one global now. Sort of, Kai'Sa's sort of is one, but that one doesn't count.
Nope, I'm not counting that one.
Yeah, so you have the TF there, so it's pretty important that Seafarens wins this lane for the entire team, because if Twisted Fate is able to go around towards this bot lane and really help get that snowball going on, that's where you're going to lose. So it's really important for Orianna to get ahead and everyone else to just like, again, just farm up and scale. Because last game, they were still farming well. Despite all the kills and all that kind of going on. At the beginning of the game, they were keeping up or doing better in farm than the enemy team was for them. So they just kind of need to play patient. They can play patient in this game, and I really think they'll take it if they get that. But Quinn won't let you play patient. He's coming straight to the top lane. Scoop Lord will try to get out of here. Again, like you said, Flash was up, but it isn't even going to have to use it. Able to get away from that one. Gus and Campbell makes their way over towards the top lane too, as well as we watch a trade in the mid lane. Seafarens and Puke Lord both pretty low.
Yeah, well played there by Scoop Lord. Just able to get away. Not quite enough damage there from the Olaf yet, even with that early lead. Yeah, it's just, you know, good by Scoop Lord, keeping up in farm. That's all you got to do. You just got to escape the ganks and keep up in farm as Nasus, and you are going to outscale every single champion in the game. They do have TF and Kai'Sa, who are better at kiting than some in terms of carries, but still, once a late game Nasus comes up, you know, even if you're as good as Leggy is at positioning in team fights and kiting, you are going to be threatened there. Now we have a pause coming in. Might be some sort of technical thing. We'll wait to hear from our producers here. But we can just analyze kind of what's been happening so far. And it is, like you say, Seafarens trying to get that priority in lane and trying to stop the Puke Lord from being able to start threatening other areas of the map. They both got those teleports. Puke Lord has that ult, and that is very, very dangerous. You got to imagine Dinzbag is going to be targeted again. They're going towards that Samira, and so that is what to look for. We're just waiting to hear from our production team to see what the pause is. But yeah, drag is up.
Maybe we'll
everything pretty standard so far.
Maybe we'll never know because we're already back in the game. So whatever.
Yep, there we go.
They're back over here, and we'll see where kind of going in. So this game is already a better early game for Dinzbags. Like obviously the kill in the river at the start off the game, that was worse. But like actually since then, it's actually already been better. They are kind of getting that. They're even in farm kind of everywhere over here, so they're pretty happy with that. They actually have priority right now for this dragon if they potentially want to start thinking about that. Kind of depends. Lily is on his way towards the bot lane, so we'll see where they kind of go over there. Alex Dirty is looking to posture to get some positioning for themselves too as well. So this is that first breaking point, and this is always such a scary. The first dragon always such a scary thing for me because sometimes I feel like teams just in for it. And right now, Dinzbags, you don't have to. You really don't have to if you don't have the peer positioner on it. And we saw how much snowball happened from scaling last game when they kind of like took the fight for the dragon and then just kind of just rolled on over through that. So you don't have to. You really don't, especially since scaling has a huge advantage if they were to use their globals towards this objective right now, as Puke Lord has hit 6. So right now, I think unless you win a fight, I don't think you even go for it. Maybe you start pushing some other lanes somewhere else, because now the priority has switched over and the priority is completely in Scaling's favor for this dragon, and they're going to get it. And again, smartly, I believe Dinzbags is just letting them have it.
Yeah, Scaling started off with kind of a light prio in that lane and moved it to a really, really fat wave coming into the turret, and there's just nothing you can do. Not only that, you've got a 1-kill Olaf already. Yeah, you're giving this dragon up every single time. No reason to go for that, and well identified there by Dinzbags to just give that one up, continue to farm up, and continue to try to just sort of get these, late game, get this late game Nasus online. Farm is even here in the bot lane as well, and in the mid lane, pretty much, though the Pukul are doing well here to keep priority and keep map pressure as the TF. You've got this inherent map pressure just as soon as the number above your head says 6 or higher, and so that is what Dinzbags have to be thinking about right now. They're just waiting for that. Now here's the shockwave coming in. Puke Lord might be caught out here.
Yeah, Seafair's little stun up here, but Dustin Campbell here to join, but so is Alex Dirty, so now Dustin Campbell has flash over the wall, so a couple of big summer spells used up just there, and no one dead, so Seafair goes back to farming.
Yeah, only the flashes from Dustin Campbell and Alex Dirty were used, so neither mid lane flash nor any of the summoner spells. So yeah, that's a pretty even trade, all things considered. Nautilus flash potentially even a little bit more value used there, and a good roam by Alex Dirty though to put pressure on and kind of save the Puke Lord, because you could see Seafarens was starting to bully him out a little bit of lane, and now the Puke Lord is able to get that wave to crash. Teleport comes in from Seafarens. Puke Lord's probably not going to have to use his, and so he's going to have teleport advantage in that mid lane, and that is going to give him just that much more global pressure without the potential for following instantly from the Orianna.
And I just want to note a small thing on this going on in the bot lane here. Dinzbag has a very smart back over here. Leggy is not going to be able to push this all the way towards the turret there, so he's able to kind of get back, buy a little bit more power. Like, obviously he's not like buying another item or whatever, but is able to buy a little bit more power, so not going to be able to, not even going to lose very much minions coming back the other way, as Leggy's not going to be able to get this towards the tower. They're kind of sort of trying to freeze, but all they're actually is creating a slow push towards them, so Dinzbags is actually going to get a good amount of farm there into the bot lane onto the Samira. It's a small advantage, but you just take all those, you add up all the little small advantages, and that's your route to victory for Dinzbags.
Yeah, against a lane like Leggy and Alex Dirty, you need those small, incremental advantages. You need to get that farm and get those items, start to be unlocked here. He is a little bit ahead, actually, of Leggy in damage, so that is going to be, it's going to manifest if they get into a fight. Leggy having to play, you can see, pretty far back, and exactly like you say, slow push. Now here is the engage.
Dinzbags wanted to jump on top of that. You try to use that extra damage, but Luminix misses the ultimate, unfortunately, so that does mean Leggy's able to walk away. Did not even have to blow flash, did use the cleanse to kind of be able to get out of that one, but yeah, good job by them, but that does mean they can now push this wave into the turret or trade a freeze, kind of depending on what their options are or where this wave is, but they got that, and that's a good advantage right now for Dinzbags, and this is what they want out of this champion. And over on the other side, Leggy did build like BF sword and stuff, so not building that super scaling Muramana build. So again, that gives you another advantage in the late game for Dinzbags, is if you continue to get there, you're in a good shape. But we do see a neutral objective right now going over to scaling, as they are going to take that Rift Herald, so we'll see where that ends up going, if it ends up just being some gold, or if they end up getting some towers out of it.
Yeah, going back real quick to that fight, Luminex, it looked like a bit of a whiff, but he was actually trying to predict the flash there. He knew that Leggy was had the potential to flash and has lightning reflexes, and so you're trying to predict. Leggy though holds his nerve, blows the cleanse instead, so that the allows the passive to go up and then cleanses. Seafarens though might trying to get in a fight here.
Trying to get over
Big
there. Ultimate comes through. Yeah, that shockwave does quite a bit of damage there, but they're going to walk out because Ragnarok activated for Quinn. Dustin Campbell gets himself in a little bit of trouble here. Gone a little bit too far forward while the rest of the team was backing up. Unfortunately for them, Quinn does take that kill. Will they continue to follow up? Dinzbags did pick up the kill on the bot lane, so curious what happened there. But either way, Seafarens will eventually go down to Alex Dirty over here. So on two different sides of the map, we get a 2-for-2.
Alex Dirty, an absolute Chad move, just walks up and uses the Rupture ability there to get the AoE and get the last hit down. Here's the replay. Seafarens and Luminex think they have the catch up, but already that big heal coming in, and that is Dustin Campbell now just going a bridge too far. He's trying to get that sleep on three members, and he only gets it on one. There's Alex Dirty with a nice ultimate that knocks up both because Seafarens had to back off. And here we go. Alex Dirty gets to the tower range, walks up, boom, last hit for Alex Dirty, baby. That is just so cool. I just love little plays like that when a support can make that happen. Yeah, and the finish coming in there, 3-2 and kills here for scaling.
And the thing we didn't see is that basically this bagged 1v1 Leggy in the bot lane, which is something that like this champion's not going to be able to do for basically the rest of the game. which is huge. Being able to win the 1v1, and now, of course, that Dinzbags will continue to kind of snowball. Has their first crit item, and crit obviously scales really well on this champion, applying to the ultimate. Q's applying on hit effects and everything. So gigantic over here. Luminix wanting to start a fight. He's going to knock up Alex 30, who's trying to tank this up. Queen is going to join this too as well. Leggy's going to miss the Q. Teleport is coming down over here. Ornn ultimate is going to come through. Teleport God is blocked though, however. Alex 30 trying to make their way into this one. Scoop Lord is up here tanking a ton. First kill. A Shockwave is going to be able to continue more damage as Dustin Campbell follows that up and gets that kill. Double kill now over towards Scoop Lord. The Coop is going to be the next target. They're going to be taken out and they are gone. Triple kill onto the Nasus, and now this is their dragon.
And Nasus is online. Scoop Lord with a triple kill there, standing in the middle of 4 players and still managing to get the damage. Dinzbags going for more.
With the mad outplay, draws out the gold card, blocks it, jumps over the wall and goes, "This is why I'm playing this champion, you fools."
Dinzbag, you could see right there at the beginning of the fight, he blocked the Ornn ultimate from coming. That's one interaction we hadn't talked about. Now, here's Scoop Lord. This is all about him. He's just going in for every single kill, chasing the rest of the team. Flashes have already been blown. The Coop not able to do anything there. Nasus got a bunch of stacks there, and he got 3 kills. Now, here is, the dragon is their reward. Mountain Dragon coming in, and Dinzbags just absolutely blew this game wide open with that play.
So I had a thing lately, and this is probably just comes from playing like 10 years of League of Legends now. Now I actually watch the champions walk animations because sometimes they're really funny if you watch that for what's kind of happy to play. And what's really fun about Nasus is that he just really casually walks.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
So he just kind of casually walks up to you and then smacks you with that Q, right? So it's just that's what I was laughing about.
It is a little bit like that horror movie aspect where it's the casual, scary, walk. Like, I know I'll catch you eventually, and catch them he did. That Trinity Force very close to being completed there. Actually, it looks like Scoop Lord's switching over now.
Yeah, he didn't even have an item yet, and he was smacking people.
Yep. All he had was Sheen and Glacial Shroud, and looks like he was thinking about going over towards that Iceborne Gauntlet, but now having purchased the Phage, I'm assuming that's going to be the Trinity Force instead. And the fact that Scoop Lord can shift over to that damage is just so scary here for scaling, and they're going to be hoisted by their own petard potentially, because that Nasus is going to outscale absolutely everyone, and giving him 3 kills in the team fight, 2-0 and 2 as well on Dinzbag after that solo kill at the back end of the fight there. Dinzbags are in position to take game 2 here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they now have the goal lead here, but here comes the Twisted Fate trying to make something happen over here, but blocked right there by Luminix. Oh, just what you want when you're a support, kind of doing all of that, but Dinzbags goes back in. Luminix saved you, my dude. He was trying to trade his life for yours, and unfortunately, you jump back in and you got taken out.
And look at the bot side of the map. Look at all that blue over there. That Dinzbag has absolutely no excuse for getting caught like that. They knew exactly what was coming, and Dinzbag, he had already used his projectile blocking spell. The Coop though might get taken out. Scoop Lord. Oh, you can see.
Drowsy, he gets smacked. Watch out, Eep. Dustin Campbell picks up the kill.
That is. Yep, that is just really scary. It's good to shut down the Samira, but you've got a bigger problem up in the top lane, and that is Scoop Lord getting his late game dream online a little earlier than you might have expected. So Scoop Lord pushing in up in the top lane, and in the mid lane, things are still looking pretty even. It was a nice play there from the Puke Lord. Use that Twisted Fate passive. That's really the first time it has been utilized to get a kill. The Twisted Fate passive hasn't done much other than that.
Alex 30 wants to fight this one, coming on top there, but Dinzbags plays aggressive, jumps in with the ultimate, but it won't be enough. Quinn is going to secure that there. And you saw the avenue. You've seen a million replays where this champion does this, but however, it was probably on a different patch.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Unfortunately, just not quite enough damage to be able to kill everyone there. And Dinzbags now with the 2-2-2 score.
Yeah, look at Dinzbag. The reason he wasn't able to have the damage there is because he didn't buy. He's trying to wait for another BF sword, so he's got only the Essence Reaver and Mercury Treads. So, you know, even though he had earned some gold and was ahead in gold, he hadn't spent it. So it just wasn't enough damage to finish that off. He needs that second BF sword towards that Infinity Edge in order to really pop off going for a play like that. I think Dinzbag just overestimated his power, not having, you know, been able to spend money there. And he doesn't even have that BF sword completed yet. So he's going to have to go back and farm and kind of, you know, tail between his legs, head hung in shame a little bit after that play, because you go for the Samira pop off, and, you know, this is part of the reason Dinzbag took this champion. And in that case, it just didn't happen. Let's see what Scoop Lord can do.
Oh, dirty fine Scoop. Lord Dustin Campbell's here too as well. Available to come in is Kaisa if they want to. They're walking up over here, but we have 4 members right now of Dinzbags minus Dinzbag himself. But the rest of Scaling is over here on top of this repelled. Ultimate is coming through from Alex Dirty as they're going to jump on top of that. Coop tanking up a ton of damage over here. Dinzbag is slowly finally making their way over here so they can potentially take this fight now. They got a bunch of them low. Called Forge God does come in trying to knock them up. He's going to get on top of Scoop Lord, force them to back away here a little bit. Dinzbag is finally joining this fight. He flashes in and gets the kill. Does Scoop Lord. They're continuing on to that. Exhaust comes down onto Puke Lord. They're running forward. Luminix gets a little bit of slow onto the Coop. They can continue to run over there. Dinzbag has made a way around. Does go gold cards put into their face, but here comes the ultimate. Puke Lord gets taken down. And they're able to take that one up 4-1. And a big fight taken by Dinzbags.
And the chase potential, look at this. The Ornn ultimate actually comes off because Dinzbag wasn't there to block it, but it's Dustin Campbell being able to get the chase on. And of course, Scoop Lord, he proves he is the Lord you need to be watching in this game as more damage coming through. And look at Leggy, he's having to recall. He can't even get close to this fight right now because he's just too afraid of getting two-shot by Nasus. Finally, there's a shutdown on Dustin Campbell at the end with residual damage, but Dinzbag's just continuing to open up this game here, and you can see the chase potential. Even with a couple of setbacks, Dinzbags are clearly in a more powerful position in this game so far, and they're using that to their advantage. Dragon control, though, is taken here by Scaling, and Dinzbag's trying to contest.
Yeah, they're here on it. Teleport is coming through for Scoop Lord, so they're able to join this fight. So they try to fight onto Dinzbag, who gets caught out. You're not the one to want to be frontlining, so that's a ton of your damage gone, but you do have Scoop Lord here, but it's not going to be enough because they kind of jumped in 5v1 essentially, and big win by Scaling. Mispositioning by Dinzbags leads to a fight that they probably should have been able to win if they positioned properly, but let's watch that here.
Yeah, big shockwave, and when you see that, it kind of like checks your mental. It's like, okay, we got the big shockwave, we can go in, but Dinzbag was already dead. There's Scoop Lord having flash, not being able to get out, gives a 600 gold shutdown over to Leggy, and that is not what you want. You had managed to kind of, you know, contain this Kaisa a little bit, and that power spike that Leggy could get from that 600 gold could unlock this Kaisa and get her rolling into the late game.
Yeah, especially add that with basically the farm that they're picking up in the top lane right now. That's basically like another kill for the farm they're also picking up there too as well. So they get that, the shutdown, it's going to lead to finally a first item being completed by Leggy. They really, really needed that going for themselves. So there's the avenue back in this game. People make mistakes all the time. I say it all the time, but it's still an even gold game. It is a slight dragon lead right now for Scaling, but we'll see who kind of puts priority on towards getting to the soul, and we'll see what they kind of do. Scoop Lord is still really strong at 6-2-2, can continue to split push here, now move towards the bot lane. He's going to start working that bot turret, and the Coop's not really able to do anything about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's just, you know, Dinzbag's still in a good position here, but it's precarious. Dinzbag face checking there, and he's going in. Quinn is here to follow.
Dinzbag just wants to do it himself, but here comes the rest of the team. Leggy jumps back into it. Dids, you're going too half, my dude.
He's too hypey. Why?
Too hypey.
I don't know why he's going in on that. No vision at all. Here's the replay starting off when Dinzbag just gets absolutely boned here. And Quinn finishes that off on Luminex as well. And you can see on the live cam, Scaling are transitioning this one over to a Baron. The thing to look at is Scoop Lord pushing up in the bottom lane. Can he get enough to make up for this deficit? Dustin Campbell gets the stun, and we'll see if they can contest this.
Here's Call of Forge God. He's going to try to get on top of Seafarens, who does dodge it, so he'll get that away, but the Baron still being taken down right by Scaling. It's at 1,000 health. It is at 0 health. Red team secures that. They have the Baron.
Yeah, there's the replay coming in, and yeah, nice dodge there, but it's just not possible to get in on this without Braum there for the engage. Here comes the here comes the Shelly up there to take a bite out of that tower. See if Seafarers can stop that, and you can see there is, lazy Susan having a nice Sunday afternoon stroll up in the bottom, down in the bottom lane, getting the tower there, and that is going to continue to happen. And no matter how many times Scoop Lord maybe gets caught out in fights, you still have to be scared of that split push, and there's nobody who can 1v1 Scoop Lord right now. And with that Trinity Force completed, there isn't anyone who can get away from him that easily either. And so that is going to be something that you're scared of as scaling here. But they did manage to pick up a Baron. Let's see if that map pressure and that minion power can allow them to sort of get back the map control, because they are in a gold lead here, Johnny.
Yeah, they certainly are. They have that ability there. They have the Baron buff, but great. Split pushing by Scoop Lord, that's what you gotta do. Like right now, you just have to keep applying pressure onto these side lanes, so that even if scaling gets something like Baron's only good if they actually take something after, right?
Yep.
So if you take a tower while they're doing Baron, and then you are able to defend everything, you actually win in that exchange in the long run. In fact, they're actually pushing minions towards you, so if you end up not letting them take any towers, you get more experience and all that jazz and CS. But Scoop Lord has been focused on here in the mid lane, just forced the flash away. Puke Lord's gonna jump in, get the gold card on top of them. Scoop Lord's now trying to deal with all 5 of them by themselves, and he talked about being in the side lanes, but he gets stuck in the middle. Here comes Leggy popping off now on that Kai'Sa. We talked how big that shutdown was earlier. Actually got to 2 items already when they were not even at an item before that shutdown that we mentioned earlier. So all of a sudden, they have a 450 gold shutdown bonus attached to themselves, and they're suddenly snowballing super hard. They have 2 items when Dinzbag hasn't finished their second, when they were so far ahead at a certain point in this game. It's a little bit frustrating from my end, just because I just kind of had faith in this team composition, what Dinzbag was able to do, but honestly, they kind of threw it away.
There is still potential, but yeah, absolutely. And Scaling have identified the threat. They threw their entire freaking arsenal into that raid boss there of Scoop Lord and managed to take him down, even though he flashes away and ults. So Scoop Lord getting caught out there, and Scaling just kind of forcing that one, knowing that the Nasus is the priority there. Dustin Campbell, just an overextension there to try to take advantage of the fact that they had used a bunch of ults, but it's Nautilus. He can still catch you. So the Dragon is the next objective. That's going to spawn in 7 seconds. Looks like Dinzbags want to contest here.
Yeah, they're fighting for it. They really want to get this neutral objective. Alex Dirty's being focused on. He does get his hook to get himself away, so they have to kind of turn their attention over there. The Coop looking at the back line, getting on top of Dinzbag, who does use the Inferno trigger, putting on that damage. It does quite a bit now. Jumping over on top of the Coop. He's going to take them out. Jumping around, trying to get Puke Lord. Dustin Campbell does pick up the kill, and Alex Dirty over on the side. Inferno trigger a second time, because why not? Dinzbag's going to get that. Leggy, though, trying to make something happen. Does get 1 kill, but does eventually get shut down. Quinn now trying to run away from all of this, potentially want to jump over the wall to go for this steal if they can potentially go for it. You see that the Nasus has moved over to the mid lane to continue that push, which is a huge thing, and let's watch this replay.
Yeah, replay, it comes in here. The Coop getting a lot of pressure here on the back line, but look at this shockwave that comes in, completely takes out the front line there. That was huge, but hang on.
Huge ace happens there. Potential for the steal. Quinn wanted for it, and honestly, that's a YOLO go for it at that point in the game. So Quinn, nice try, but now all of a sudden the Samira's gonna start popping off. Does have the 2 items, so we're just swapping leads here, as it's only 600 gold, but the momentum, the tempo, all right now in favor of Dinzbag.
Yeah, you finally saw the Dinzbag pop off on Samira there, going into the back line, managing to get the reset, and the Coop had to kind of pop that stopwatch to get to escape. I believe it was the Coop or the Puke Lord using that Zanya's, and with the cooldown, that's what looks like happened. So they did take down the Coop and had to wait around, but yeah, Dinzbag going for that kill. And then Quinn going in at the end to try to steal, and it was, it was just too much. Dinzbag was able to get that damage down. Now he's completed the Infinity Edge as well, and that is so much damage in team fights if he's allowed to be unlocked. But so far, his positioning and his ability to get into fights has been much better this game. A couple of setbacks here, Johnny, but definitely that Samira looking very, very powerful, especially being able to block those projectiles like the Nautilus spells and the Orin ultimate there, called the Forge God.
Here comes Destiny. Puke Lord over towards top lane, does have gold card available, wants to use it onto Seafarers, is able to get that down. Leggy gonna come in to secure that kill. Big shutdown once again onto Leggy, who is basically trying to carry this game once more. Basically, is all the damage on their kind of team composition. Does have a bunch of CC from the rest of the team to continue that up. Quinn's kind of at the point where the Olaf kind of falls off and looking to build like something like Locket, or actually is looking at.
He's going for Death Stance
he's
here.
Going for Death Stance. Going for Death Stance. I would have liked to actually seen Locket. You see that the Sooning build. Potentially what you can kind of go for that. But anyway, that's not what they're going for. They're looking to get that Death Stance there. Could potentially help out the rest of the team and go from there. But Baron is spawning up shortly here. Again, it is basically even gold, but I believe Dinzbags are at the position where if they kind of get the right position in the team fight, Scaling can't do much about it, minus Leggy completely outplaying everyone, which is possible. Again, we mentioned in the first game, Leggy is potentially the best player in our league right now, right? So they can do this. They could very much win this fight all by themselves, but they got a tall task in front of them as Dinzbag is ready to press R.
Seafarence has been having these super high impact shockwaves as well in these fights, and that has stopped Leggy from really having the front line he needs in order to really pop off. But, you saw at the beginning of that fight around Dragon before, you already saw, his ability to kite and get back away from the rest of the team and continue to apply damage in a fight, even against this, huge Nasus. But in the end, with that shockwave Seafarence hit and Dinzbag being able to pop off in the backline, it just zoned out Leggy too much and wasn't able to, contribute enough to that fight in order to put the damage down. But Nasher's Tooth has been completed. That will unlock the third passive. So that is going to be, Leggy now at pretty much full power here on the Kai'Sa, and we will probably see that stopwatch indeed there as well, going to be huge here. Ultimate coming in, they're going for this, and Scaling want to contest.
Yeah, Leggy potentially has all the tools here to be that big outplay button. Here they come now. Here's the team fight. Focus on the front line. They're going front to back. Both teams are right now, but Leggy has an advantage doing specifically that. P4 does pick up the first kill. They're trying to jump onto the back over here, but Dustin Campbell is applying so much damage, and now Dinzbags wanting to go for the pop-up does get two, but Leggy does pick up that one kill. So Leggy still alive. However, Scoop Lord still alive. Comes up over there. Dustin Campbell secures that one. It's now a 3-4-2. Scoop Lord, Dustin Campbell, and Seafarence can just walk at this team, and there's not a whole lot Quinn and people can do about it.
By God, Leggy is broken in half at the end of that fight with a Q doing half of his HP. Now Luminex gets caught out here, but critically gets the Glacial Fissure off and stops them from going in. You can see Dinzbag going in here, but look at this. He goes in, boom! He gets completely executed there by Leggy. But now Leggy has used every trick up his sleeve, and Scoop Lord just chases him down, and that Q is so scary. You just cannot allow yourself to be close to that Nasus. And once Dinzbag, even though he went into a fight he couldn't win at the end, he had done enough. He had already gotten those 2 kills, gotten that healing, drawn the abilities, and, like I said, it was, Leggy just ran out of tricks in that fight, and it was Scoop Lord to pick up the pieces there.
And it's just kind of like, that's 80 carry, man. He could almost perfectly position, and Leggy borderline had perfect positioning on that fight. Was able to pick off front. Like I said, the front to back kind of team fight works really well for Scaling, because like that damage that Leggy can kind of put on. And then you saw the Dinzbags trying to come in and trying to break that up. They did get a double kill, but Leggy was able to kill them. But then, it just doesn't matter because Scoop Lord walks up to you and hits you with the giant axe.
Yeah, and here is another fight coming in.
Fight for this dragon. They're knocking it up. It does go to Scaling, but will it matter? Will they pay for it with all of their lives jumping in here now? Here's an Inferno Trigger, putting it on you all. Scoop Lord's going to pick up that kill there. Leggy does pick up one more. They're trading it right back. Leggy, though, gets taken out. Dinzbag picks up that. I'm going to go 7, 5, and 10. Again, Quinn and Pukelord are the only ones left, but this time a lot of people are left for Dinzbags. They could have pushed in a lane, to be honest, but they decide to just go for the Baron there to make it easy to push in.
And you're starting to get the dream game for Dinzbag in here. You saw how he was able to pop off in that fight. And Leggy, you can see the skill. You can see he makes exactly the right decision there and does manage to get a kill in the end, or most bot lane carry players would not have gotten that kill. But it simply is not enough. Dinzbags is so far ahead. Production has asked me to point out the amount of stacks on Nasus, and I'm not sure how many stacks we have because we don't have that that ability to see that from what I can see, but it's got to be a lot. I mean, you saw that Q coming in there at the end of the previous fight there onto Leggy. And so, that is something to look at. If you are, if you're kind of figuring out League of Legends as you go, it's important to note that the reason Nasus gets better as the game goes on is that every time he executes any unit with his Q ability, which is an empowered auto attack, that ability does more damage the next time, and it stacks infinitely, baby. So Scoop Lord is happy that this game is past 30 minutes. He's only going to get stronger. And, that is manifesting in these fights, I've got to say. Now Righteous Glory here to even further prevent the kiting. He's going to use that active to speed himself up and get into the backline there. And Leggy's got to be even more scared of that. And it's almost looking like it won't be possible for Leggy to outscale this because the peel just isn't quite coming through the way he needs it to.
Yeah.
And those shockwaves by Seafarens creating enough chaos that Dinzbags can pop off on these fights.
And it's probably too late now, but this is kind of why I mentioned the lock-it potential on Quinn earlier, because I feel like in that kind of mid game, that does give you that little bit of tankiness towards your whole team, right?
Yep.
And that could have potentially gave you enough to shore up something. Because what really matters? What it doesn't matter if Quinn lives, right?
Yeah.
Like that stance helps you survive longer, but it doesn't actually matter if you survive. You saw 2 fights in a row where Quinn was still alive at the end of it, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they can't really do anything. So.
Another thing to point out here, no healing reduction available at all. And once you start getting this Samira and, Lilia and Nasus up to these breaking points, that heal reduction is going to be very valuable. It's only the Coop with a Bramble Vest to reduce that healing. And, if you can get that down, then maybe the Olaf can become sort of a threat to the Samira. But currently, Dinzbag is just, he's picked up his own death stance here, and he's just going to be out healing that Olaf burst.
Yeah, and that's a champion matters if you survive.
Yep,
so
exactly. You need that one.
Huge. They're just like lifesteal, just synergize super well. Obviously, it works with your Q, works with your ultimate. Just you gotta have everything. Obviously, also running Conqueror. So Dinzbags gonna be pretty hard to stop if you don't CC Dinzbags, and that's what they kind of want to focus on here. But they've done a good job of protecting Dinzbags through most of it. The only times it's kind of gone bad is when Dinzbags himself kind of runs out of his own protection.
Yep.
But,
which has happened a few times. We gotta say.
Happened a few times. But hey, it's the player where he's either gonna make a highlight reel play or he's gonna make the highlight reel play the other way. So that's what he's just going for, and that's what they kind of want. They continue to push in with this Baron. They're able to get the inhibitor turret over onto the top side, just doing a good standard siege, and Scaling knows they can't really engage onto it because they have what they have on the other side is a really good disengage composition.
Exactly.
Where if you run at them, they'll pop the Orianna ult, they'll Liliana ult, and then Dinzbags will pull out the Inferno Trigger and then clean up that damage there, right? So that's what we've been seeing in all these fights.
Yeah, not to mention Glacial Fissure, one of the best disengage abilities in the game. So it's so hard for people like the Puke Lord, Alex Dirty, and Quinn to get onto the back line there. And the one thing to point out here is that Ornn is on the scaling side, and that is some extra, late game power that you're being given. You can see the Black Cleaver already empowered up to, I believe it's called Obsidian Cleaver. The thing to note here, though, is that right now, Leggy does not have an item that can be empowered by Ornn, if I'm not mistaken. And so that you're going to have to wait for maybe a death cap to come in there in order for that Kai'Sa late game to truly be unlocked. And so that's an interesting, conundrum, because with Leggy, you've got to go for this build where you're activating all your passives, but at the same time, you want to get that Ornn benefit. Here's a little bit of posturing at the dragon. There's the ultimate.
Here we go. Here's a fight, and there's everyone getting knocked up. Watch Dinzbags where they're going. Jump it in. Inferno Trigger comes through. It does get CC'd, so it's stopped eventually, but you can't really CC Scoop Lord that well. Picks up another kill. Double kill now comes in for Cousin Campbell. Leggy trying to do something here. Oh, where did your health bar go?
God.
Completely one shot. Puke Lord now goes into stasis, gives the thumbs up, but we all know what that means. You're out of there. There's the ace. This will be a game 2 victory for Dinzbags, and we watched team fight.
Okay.
Earlier, I was saying that the front to back favors Scaling, but not anymore.
Not anymore, and I don't know how much I want to analyze this fight. Dinzbag doesn't block the Ornn ultimate there, and a big shockwave gets the front line, but all I really care about is this Nasus Q at the end. Dustin Campbell gets a nice, speed up in there. Leggy's gonna go in and, avert your eyes. Oh my god! It just looks worse every time, and that is game 2, as you say. going in the favor of Dinzbags. They are going to tie it up 1-1, Johnny. And hell of a performance from Scoop Lord and Dinzbag in particular.
Yeah, and those are the kind of things that makes you not want to play ADK anymore. You know what I mean? It's like that makes you go, Riot, please, what can I do?
Man.
Like Leggy, literally, we can watch the VOD later. I don't think Leggy could have played that any better.
Nope, nope.
He's couldn't,
yeah,
just couldn't have played that any better.
exactly.
And it just doesn't matter because Q auto attack.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a couple of AD carry mains or AD carry enthusiasts on our analyst desk, and we're going to send it back over to the Red Bull analyst desk to break that one down a little bit further and gush a little bit about that